Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with our guest host, Dr. Kori Propst. We are at least 5 or 6 episodes, I lost track, Kori, but we are continuing to talk about body dysmorphia and how to build a healthy body image through competition and then back out into real life after competition. And something you said in our last episode made me think of in my competition days, I developed almost a Taoist type feeling about competition because I didn't like that dissociation, or I didn't like feeling like I was becoming shallow and too focused on how I look. And I know particularly one monk who talked about the fact that in the West, we talk about winning and losing. And when there's a problem, you fix it and you crush it. And there's always this conflict and this battle. And he said, we don't talk about that in the East. We talk about being at peace with something. And when you talk about the way, the Tao, it's to become more skillful. And that instantly made me think of you, Kori, in that it's not about winning. It's about our response to every adversity. And if I'm not handling it well, if it frustrates me, if there's some kind of internal conflict, I'm not yet skillful in dealing with that. And that's the way of a master, is to become more skillful. So as we encounter things like the hunger and the frustration and my body doesn't look good enough and I'm just feeling all of this internal stuff happening, how do I actually learn to become more skillful with that emotion?
Yeah, I love this question. This is one that this is like a sort of life philosophy quest and question. What I thought about as you were talking, Joe, is how do we learn to allow this natural unfolding of all the chatter in the mind and all of the different sensation in the body, and not to judge it, just to be with it and to be able to observe it and look at it, but without commentary and sort of a black and white, this is not okay, it shouldn't be this way. Again, the judgment. So how do we step back from the judgment? Well, we practice. This is not rocket science. It sounds simple, but it's not. Well, it is simple. It's not easy, I'll say that. But it's, one way that we can learn how to train ourselves to be more observational and just present with this unknown and the unpredictable environments in our bodies and our minds is through meditation. And this, that does not have to be complicated. I think, again, where we can go wrong with meditation is we believe that we need to be great meditators. And that's not the purpose of meditation
and to win meditation.
Oh my gosh, yes, all the time. It means if I meditate, it means that I should be able to not have any thoughts at all while I'm sitting there for 5, 10, or however long you're sitting there. That's not the aim of meditation at all. It is to practice watching what arises. So there is the assumption that there will still be a lot of shit that arises. But can we just watch it instead of getting yanked around by it and whipped around by it and have it control us? It's not even about learning to control the thoughts. It's like, they're going to be there. And can I befriend them? Can we sit there together and not get in an argument? Again, like, I love the analogy of a relationship. Like, can I have a relationship with my thoughts that is respectful, non-judgmental, that is present? Like, these are all the things that we want with our partners and with our friends. It's the same practice. We're allowing them to be who they are, without trying to force them to be something they're not.
And I think I think it's important. I was just letting you continue to explain. I thought it was great. I put myself for a moment in the mind of a competitor. who would say, okay, all that's great. Like you guys are telling me all this stuff that now I realize I'm failing at that too. And instead, when these feelings and thoughts come up, like, why am I so frustrated? Why? I think we all recognize them. Why do I put so much credence on how I look? Why does my entire day, instantly go, in the positive or negative direction based on my weight or how I feel I look that day? And as soon as you start having those kinds of self-awareness type moments, that's when you have to rely back on what you're describing, Kori, I think, which is, okay, this is a chance for me to practice not being that way. What would my inner Kori say at this moment? So, what would I tell a friend, going back to my client, what would I tell a friend who is experiencing these thoughts?
Well, yes. And let's answer the question. Why is your mind always orienting towards this or that? Why is there the preoccupation? Perhaps the better question instead of why, because why questions I find they're difficult to answer. It's like, what's contributing to my mind always going in that direction? What am I filling my mind with that's promoting that trajectory? What in my environment is potentially prompting my mind to go there? So I know a lot of, very simple example, I know a lot of competitors who get on Instagram and they're looking at all the other competitors and they're just like scrolling and it's all comparison. Oh my God, I don't have that. Oh my God, that person looks amazing. I don't have her shoulders. Oh shit, my back isn't wide enough. And it's just like incessant judgment. So is that a good idea? If you don't want your mind to go there, do you want to put your mind there? Let's put our mind towards the things or the people or the places or the concepts that are going to move us in the direction and the trajectory that we want to move in an intentional way. Otherwise, again, we're pawns. We're like leaves being blown around by the wind instead of saying, what is it that I want to orient towards? What's my North Star? What do I need and want to be thinking about? What's in my service? What's going to actually benefit me?
And that is the question we're going to answer in our next and final episode, which is, as Dr. Propst talked about, how do we protect ourselves going in? How do we make sure we have a proper body image when we even encounter this first, phase of competition? So we'll meet you guys back here next time. We got one more episode in this series. And Kori, again, thank you so much. But we'll see you next time here in Contest Prep University.